Urgent! Day Bears fan! Look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest your team news, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Bears met with interesting WR prospect. The Chicago Bears stand poised to make significant roster improvements in the 2025 NFL Draft. With the 10th overall selection and 4 picks within the top 75, they have the ammunition to address critical team needs as they look to build a contender. Wide receiver remains a position of focus for the Bears front office, who appear to be casting a wide net in their search for playmaking talent. Beyond the obvious first-round candidates, Chicago has shown interest in several prospects flying under the national radar. Among them is former FIU standout Chris Mitchell, who has caught the organization's attention during the pre-draft process. Chris Mitchell ran a program-best 4.50 at Pro Day, had 641,1187 at FIU football in 2023, Bears local day invite, had in-person meetings with Bears, Colts, Lions at Pro Day, reported Justin Mello of the Draft Network. Mitchell built an impressive resume at FIU in 2023, hauling in 64 receptions for 1,118 yards and 7 touchdowns before transferring to Notre Dame. His final collegiate season saw him help guide the Fighting Irish to the national championship game, showcasing his ability to perform on college football's biggest stage. His Notre Dame Pro Day turned heads when he registered the day's fastest 40-yard dash at 4.50 seconds. Standing 60 and weighing 183 pounds, Mitchell offers an intriguing blend of size and speed that might provide excellent value in the middle rounds. The Bears have addressed several positions through free agency but still need additional firepower in their receiving core. Mitchell's demonstrated ability to stretch the field vertically and perform in clutch moments could make him an ideal complement to Chicago's existing offensive weapons as they build around their young quarterback. Pausing this news, just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the monsters of the Midway news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Bears named top trade suitor for NFL's reigning TD leader. It's no secret the Chicago Bears are likely looking to add a running back in the upcoming NFL Draft, with DeAndre Swift and Roshan Johnson their feature. Backs in the former being the subject of trade rumors, the Bears' RB's room is undoubtedly in need of an upgrade. Under the leadership of first-year head coach Ben Johnson and RB coach Eric Bieniemy, there's reason to feel some excitement about the future of that position group in particular. One analyst threw an unexpected name into the mix for the Bears to pursue via trade current Buffalo Bills RB1 James Cook, noting they could use an upgrade at RB1. Sterling Zai of Pro Football Network named the Bears as one of 3 teams who would make sense as a trade partner. Brandon Beane has traditionally leaned on the draft to restock at running back, Z wrote on April 18th. Beane drafted Devin Singletary to replace LaShawn McCoy and then drafted James Cook to replace Singletary. Now, with Cook entering the last year of his rookie contract, the Bills could be poised to repeat that cycle again. In fact, it's possible they've already done so after drafting Ray Davis in the 4th round last year. In the lone game that Cook missed in 2024, Davis piled up 152 scrimmage yards. A quick look at Cook's stats numbers: Cook entered the NFL as a second-round pick, 63rd overall by the Bills in the 2022 draft. In his rookie season, he rushed for 507 yards on 89 carries, averaging an impressive 5.7 yards per attempt, and added 180 receiving yards on 21 receptions with 3 total touchdowns. Cook's breakout came in 2023, where he established himself as the Bills' featured back. He finished the year with 1,122 rushing yards on 237 carries, 4.7 yards per carry, and added 44 receptions for 445 yards, scoring 6 total TDs. His 1,567 scrimmage yards ranked among the top for RBs that season, and he became a crutch of sorts for Bills quarterback Josh Allen. In 2024, Cook topped the 1,000-yard mark again, netting 1,009 yards on the ground, 4.9 YPC, along with a league-leading 16 rushing scores. He also hauled in 32 receptions for 258 receiving yards and 2 more scores. Entering 2025, Cook is widely regarded as one of the league's most versatile and productive young backs. The 5'11", 190-pound Bills RB is still just 25, and he has made back-to-back Pro Bowl appearances. That's why it's unlikely Buffalo trades him. He's still a huge asset, a huge part of the team's offense. That said, Z has a point about the way the Bills do things. They may very well draft Cook's replacement this year. The thing is, Johnson and the Bears will likely be operating under the same mentality by drafting Swifts. Why Chicago Bears likely won't be trading for RB James Cook, Johnson's offense has always featured a dynamic run game, complemented by a solid play-action game, and Cook's ability to contribute both as a runner and receiver out of the backfield makes him an undeniable fit for this approach. And with the Bears' focus on developing quarterback Caleb Williams, there's no doubt having a reliable and versatile running back like Cook could alleviate pressure and provide a safety valve in the passing game. The Bears have also been actively restructuring their offensive line with the aim of incorporating a more effective run game. They acquired guards Jonah Jackson and Joe Thuney, as well as center Drew Dalman, so change is coming to this offense in a big way. The Bears probably will trade, maybe even release Swift, but that likely won't happen until the 2025 season ends. So pursuing a trade for Cook, who will be looking to get paid after the 2025 season, seems like a fool's errand for Chicago at this point. The draft is almost here, and with a bevy of young backs set to be available, Ashton Jeanty and Omarion Hampshire in round 1, Tre'Veyon Henderson, Quinshawn Judkins, Caleb Johnson in round 2, the Bears would be better served by snagging one of them on a rookie deal. 2025 NFL Draft Scenarios. For the Chicago Bears, analyzing 6 different 2025 NFL Draft scenarios for the Chicago Bears ahead of the 2025 NFL Draft. The 2025 NFL Draft is set to begin on Thursday, and the Chicago Bears will be one of the most interesting teams to watch. With 4 picks inside the top 100, General Manager Ryan Poles has put the franchise in a perfect position to be flexible and maneuver up and down the board as needed. For Chicago, the draft represents a significant opportunity to put the finishing touches on a roster that Poles has spent the last 4 off-seasons building by acquiring veterans and young talent that have formed the core of the locker room. The quarterback is already in place, and now it's a matter of putting the finishing touches on a roster that includes a perfect mix of veterans and young talent. Picking inside the top 10 for the 3rd straight year, the Bears have been linked to top prospects like running back Ashton Jeanty, Boise State, offensive tackles Will Campbell, LSU, and Armand Membu, Missouri. But for Poles and first-year head coach Ben Johnson, part of what happens on Thursday night will largely be determined by what happens between picks 2 and 9 in the top 10. Year after year, the draft proves to be a fluid process, and the Bears need to be prepared for any possible scenario. With 7 total selections and the ability to add more, Poles and Ian Cunningham could get creative on Thursday night in order to help acquire talent that's going to put the Bears over the top. The Bears' most valuable asset, the number 10 overall pick, could be used to help the Bears move up the draft board or even move down if a quarterback prospect starts sliding. It takes 2 sides to complete a deal, but Poles' philosophy over the last 4 years has been that he is willing to listen. Top any offer. Let's break down 6 different draft day scenarios that could impact what the Bears do on Thursday night when the draft officially begins. Scenario 1, the Bears don't make any trades. The most obvious scenario for the upcoming weekend, which seems unlikely to happen, is that the Bears keep all their picks and in the process, beef up the running game and the trenches. With 7 total draft picks, including 4 in the first 3 rounds, the Bears have put themselves in a position to overhaul the roster. And if the Bears come away with a potential haul that includes Ashton Jeanty, Gray Zabel, Walter Nolan, and Tate Ratledge, gives the roster a short-term and long-term boost. Some additional depth at linebacker and wide receiver could also provide the front office with additional flexibility moving forward. Scenario 1, no trades 1. 10 RB Ashton Jeanty, Boise St. 2. 39 IOL Gray Zabel, North Dakota St. 2. 41 DL Walter Nolan, Ole Miss 3. 72 IOL Tate Ratledge, Georgia 5. 148 DeSavion Jones, LSU 7. 233 WR Jalen Lane, Virginia Tech 7. 240 LB Cody Simon, Ohio Saint. The advantage of the scenario above is that if a player like Zabel slips to the 2nd round, he'll have the luxury of sitting a year behind veterans Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson before he enters the starting lineup. The Bears have yet to extend Thuney, who is set to play the 2025 season on an expiring contract, and so adding Zabel could be an indicator that he's set to be Thuney's replacement. Scenario 2, a double trade down. If the board falls in a way that doesn't favor the Bears and the top running back, edge rusher, and offensive tackle prospects are all off the board, it may be time to start working the phones for Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham. One of the options for the Bears at no. 10 overall could be taking tight end Tyler Warren, Penn State, or Colston Loveland, Michigan, but then, in round 2, trading back twice to accumulate more picks could be a smart move for the Bears. The Bears currently don't have a 4th or 6th round pick, but moving the 39th overall selection could help the Bears acquire selections in both rounds and give the franchise 5 picks on day 3. Such a deal could also include 2026 draft picks, which will be valuable as the Bears get more expensive by retaining their own homegrown players. The Atlanta Falcons and Denver Broncos, slated to pick at number 45 and number 51 respectively, could be prime targets to move up. Both teams appear primed to take another step forward in 2025 with young, ascending quarterbacks, and they could both help the Bears out tremendously. Scenario 2, double trade down 1. 10 TE Tyler Warren, Penn State 2, 45, IOL Donovan Jackson, Ohio State 2, 51 LB Carson Schwesinger, UCLA 3, 72 DL Darius Alexander Toledo 4, 118 D Ashton Galot Louisville 5, 148 WR Xavier Restrepo, Miami FL6, 191 RB Brashard Smith, SMU 7, 233 OT Jack Nelson, Wisconsin 7, 240S Maxon Hook, Toledo. The trade terms in this one will be key to understand. The 45th overall pick was acquired in a swap with the Falcons for number 39 overall. In return, the Bears received Atlanta's 2025 4th-rounder 118th overall and the Falcons' 2026 3rd and 6th round selections. Moving out of 41st overall and down 10 spots in a swap with the Broncos, the Bears received the 51st overall pick and Denver's 2025 6th round selection, 191st overall. Such a scenario gives the Bears a chance to add some depth at key positions such as edge rusher, wide receiver, and offensive tackle. But such a scenario also means that the Bears are relying on running backs, DeAndre Swift and Rashawn Johnson, to carry the load for the team in 2025. Scenario 3, first-round blockbuster trade. If all the top prospects are off the board and the Bears want to move back, while a franchise such as the Pittsburgh Steelers or Los Angeles Chargers want to move into the top 10, it could give the Bears a much better opportunity to get some better value on day 2 and 3. Compensation will depend on how far back the Bears are willing to move, but if it's in the early 20s, acquiring an additional second-round pick shouldn't be out of the question. To sweeten the deal, Chicago could also acquire some 2026 draft capital, giving the front office even more assets going into next year. Scenario 3, blockbuster round 1 trade 1, 22 TE Colston Loveland, Michigan 2, 40 LB Carson Schwesinger, UCLA 2, 41 RB Trevayon Henderson, Ohio State 2, 55 Edge Princely Uman Milan, Ole Miss 3, 72 OT Emory Jones, LSU 3, 93 Edge Jordan Birch, Oregon 7, 233 DT Howard Cross III, Notre Dame 7th, 240 WR Keandre Lambert Smith, Auburn. In such a scenario, the Bears end up landing some top playmakers such as Loveland and Henderson, but by acquiring an additional second-rounder, it gives Chicago a chance to add Princely Uman Milan, a player who fits Dennis Allen's defense. Another trade could also be in the works, as Chicago could move out of the 5th round entirely by trading with a team like New Orleans Saints, sending picks 39 and 148 to the Saints in exchange for the 40th and 93rd overall selections. A trade with the Chargers nets the Bears an extra second-round pick in 2025 and an additional second-round pick in 2026, while a trade with the Saints gives the Bears an additional third-rounder, giving Chicago 6 picks inside the top 100. Scenario 4, moving back into round 1. While moving back into round 1 seems like a lofty task, the Bears do have the draft capital to strike a deal with a team that needs draft picks. And any potential deal that's made would require the Bears to move the number 39 overall pick and the team's 5th round selection, 148th overall. Scenario 4, moving back into round 1-1, 10 RB Ashton Janty, Boise St. 1, 25 DE Nick Scorton, Texas A&M 2, 41 LB Carson Schwesinger, UCLA 3, 72 WR Jalen Royals, Utah St. 7, 233 CB Jason Marshall Jr., Florida 7, 240 RB. Joquavius Marks, USC. With such a haul, the Bears would end up striking a deal with the Houston Texans for the 25th overall pick, and more importantly, still retain the 41st and 72nd overall selections, which still gives the franchise 4 picks inside the top 103 building blocks in Ginty, Skirton, and Schlesinger. Both selections would give the Bears a chance to add some valuable contributors and depth, but move Chicago out of the 5th round entirely. The question is, would Poles and Johnson be willing to only make 2 picks on day 3 and not have any selections between rounds 46? Or would the Bears decide that keeping both second-rounders is better for the team in the long run? Scenario 5, moving out of round 1. Entirely for the Bears if the top prospects are off the board and the phones ring with an offer attractive enough to move out of round 1, it's something that the front office could strongly consider. And getting some 2026 draft capital for a top 10 pick means that the Bears can still draft and add a lot of talent in 2025, but also look ahead to 2026 in what is expected to be a deeper draft class. For the Bears, moving out of round 1, but acquiring a 2026 first-round pick, a speakly one that's projected to be a top 10 pick, could be enough of a reason to move out of round 1. And in a situation where the Bears add an additional second-rounder and third-rounder in 2025, IDD be the ideal opportunity to match positional value with talent. Scenario 5, moving out of round 1 entirely 2. 34 RB Omarion Hampton, UNC 2, 39 DT Tyleik Williams, Ohio State 2, 41 IOL Donovan Jackson, Ohio State 3, 72 D Jordan Birch, Oregon 3, 99 LB Barrett Carter, Clemson 5, 148 OT Jalen Travis, Iowa State 7, 233 WR J. Corey Brooks, Louisville 7, 240S Dante Trader Jr., Maryland. While moving out of the first round is something that the Bears will have to think hard about. A trade with a front office like the Giants that's desperate to win to save jobs. If there is truly a lack of talent when the Bears are on the board at number 10, striking a deal that benefits the Bears in the present and future could be the way to go. Scenario 6, trading up in round 1. If the Bears feel like the current roster is one player away from competing, Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson could get aggressive and decide that trading up is the only way to go. IDD depend on what players are available, but edge rusher Abdul Carter and running back Ashton Janty are 2 players that Chicago could target. One team that's on the rise but could look to add more draft picks in 2025 and 2026 is the New England Patriots. Picking at number 4 overall, moving back 6 spots with a team like the Bears, could net New England 2 third-round picks 2025 and 2026, giving both teams a chance to significantly add talent. Scenario 6, trading up in round 1-1, 4D Abdul Carter, Penn State 2, 39 RB Quinshon Judkins, Ohio State 2, 41S Xavier Watts, Notre Dame 5, 148 IOL Dylan Fairchild, Georgia 7, 233 DL Ty Robinson, Nebraska 7, 240 WR Andrew Armstrong, Arkansas. From the Bears' perspective, this is a deal that could work because it'll provide the front office with the chance to land a game-changing player on defense, but also it gives both the offense and defense a spark that includes running back Quinshon Judkins and safety Xavier Watts, 2 players that could turn into significant contributors as soon as the 2026 season begins. And now, Da Bears fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Da Bears. I'll be back any moment with more. The monsters of the Midway News.